Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cannon's Edge. I just want to say thank you for listening, and thank you for all the outpouring of support that we've got over on social media at Cannon's Edge on Twitter. It's great to be part of the Star Wars podcast community. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to start listening to some of the shows who followed me. So, in this episode, there are lots of spoilers for Book of Boba Fett Chapter 6. Tons of them. It's absolutely full of spoilers. So if you don't like that, if you don't want to have all of your dreams ruined, please hang up, put the laptop down, close the podcaster, and go watch Book of Boba Fett. You've been warned. So in the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, Grogu's given a choice between Yoda's lightsaber and the chainmail armor forged by the Mandalorian armorer. I'll be talking more about Yoda's lightsaber and the kyber crystals in another episode, so watch out for that one. It was something that I didn't expect to learn a lot about on this rabbit hole. Well, I didn't know it was a rabbit hole to begin with, but it got super interesting. It brings me to the question of the Jedi foregoing of all attachment that the armorer talked about. She explained to Din Djarin that, 1,000 years ago, Tar Vizsla was both Mandalorian and Jedi, and at the same time said, Jedi have to get rid of all attachment to master the Force. Which is, really strange, and I know we haven't learned all of the background in Tar Vizsla yet. At least when I'm recording this, I don't know it. I haven't ran across it in any other material, so it could be wrong. But it makes me think that what could be more full of attachment than being the leader of your people? I mean, you're going to be strongly attached to them. So was he a Jedi before or after or what went on there? But I want to point out that Disney doesn't do this stuff by just accident, right? They put all of these ideas out there, I think, as breadcrumbs to follow. And I feel like that maybe I followed some in this. And this makes this a multi-part podcast because I got into so many threads. So it's more than one episode about this. Oh, yeah, and by the way, can anyone spell Mandalorian anymore? The fact that everyone calls him Mando is throwing me off huge. Because it's Mandalorian. Lorian is how I want to spell it now. And I understand, you couldn't call him Manda. Hey, Manda, how are you doing? That wouldn't have worked out for the show. I understand why they went with Mando. But it makes it so hard for me to spell it. And at the end of the day, I just feel like I'm talking about DeLorean Motor Company. So, he brings Grogu to Luke, right? And he ends his quest by doing that. He's done his job. But he has this chainmail that's made for Grogu, and it's his by right as a Mandalorian foundling. He goes to seek out Luke and give that to Grogu. Now, he meets Ahsoka. And Ahsoka tells him that that's just going to make things more difficult for Grogu to see him. And I want to notice that she doesn't say it'll be better for him if he doesn't see you. She says it will be hard for him if he sees you. That might not seem like much of a distinction, but I think it is. Especially with everything Ahsoka has been through and seen in her life. She saw firsthand what attachment did to Anakin. And, at the end of the day, she was kicked out of the Jedi Order in Clone Wars. I mean, it was almost like they were so unattached to her, they were ready to just throw her to the wolves. Because Palpatine didn't like her anymore, and Tarkin didn't like her anymore. That's how far the Jedi had fallen in doing anything that's of the light. I mean, basically going to the beck and call of their Sith master. And I'll go on to explain more of this. But this whole idea of attachment makes me think that she saw what attachment did to Anakin. But I don't think it was Anakin's attachment that caused him to follow a dark path. Now, I think it was the way the old Jedi thought about things. It might have been the Jedi rules that created Darth Vader in the first place. And we find out in the sequel movies that Luke Skywalker, the hero of the New Republic and master of the Jedi Order, has given up. He went to an island to die. He tells Rey that it's time for the Jedi to end, and he'll never train another generation of Jedi. And I'm thinking, as I'm watching that, wow, where are we going with this? Because it's not something I think anyone expected. Like, when we saw the trailer, and it was like The Last Jedi, we're like, what does that mean? And I think it's been an explanation that's been long in the process. Because even in that same episode, Luke is ready to go burn down the sacred tree and the texts and everything. And he almost doesn't do it. But Yoda shows up and zaps the tree with lightning. Not from his hand. This sounds like I'm saying for like Sith lightning, but just like lightning from the sky. Turns it and burns it to crisp along with the books and everything. And we find out that he says, time it is. It's time for the Jedi to end then. Yoda goes, time it is. And then he looks at Luke and says, time for you to look past a pile of old books. And he's like, it's the sacred Jedi text. And he was like, yeah, page turners, they were not. And he goes on to say that failure is the greatest teacher. This is Yoda, who trained Jedi for 600 years. And he failed. It's hard to imagine that. That Yoda, with all of his wisdom, at the end of the day, the Jedi Order was destroyed by Darth Sidious. It made me think of something. A conversation Yoda had with Ezra Bridgers. Spoiler alert, if you've not seen Star Wars Rebels, this is a Star Wars Rebels spoiler all the way through to the last episode. He's talking to him in a Jedi temple, and he says, in our arrogance, join the conflict swiftly we did. Fear, anger, hate, consumed by the dark side the Jedi were. A long time fought I did, consumed by fear I was. Foresee it I did not. Yes, afraid. Surprised you are? And at the end of this conversation, Yoda tells Ezra Bridger to find Malachor. And Malachor is going to be what I do the next episode on. I've stumbled onto something that I think you'll enjoy. Anyway, guys, thanks for everything. May the Force be with you.